Thanks for joining us again here at our top 4 of our mid-season showdown at Pokemon Labs. I am Arnie Wolf, joined by Abu today for the semifinal. And we were just talking about some really interesting picks from our top 4. We got Junxi versus Bryan Kim, and this is going to be very interesting. As we saw, it's going to be Battle of the Speed Control. As you take a look at the screen there, you're going to see Junxi on the left with the Amoonguss. Urshifu, this one is a Rapid Strike. Porygon 2, Landorus, Incarnate, Incineroar, and Golden Go. And Brian on the right with Farigiraf. The one we were talking about, Iron Jugulus, Amoonguss, Ogerpon, Wellspring, Incineroar, and Ursaluna Bloodmoon.
Yeah, so again, Iron Jugulus, we did, I remember seeing it at like a regional top or something, or not a regional top 8, but a regional, like a day 2. I did see it, I forgot which regional it was, but this is the second time I've seen it, and I didn't know the set before. Now I'm guessing this is the set. It is kind of like a special Roaring Moon, where it's just getting that booster energy with the Tailwind and Snarl support instead of a Breaking Swipe. So it's actually fulfills like a really interesting niche over Roaring Moon, right? It's like this is Roaring Moon for like special attack dropping, while Roaring Moon is just like Breaking Swipe, you know. And yeah, it's very interesting. And on Junxi's side, we have Porygon 2, which is another form of speed control, but Trick Room. And as you see, Junxi has like a few slow Pokemon that can take advantage of it, mainly Amoonguss, and like kind of Golden Go, depending on the situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is gonna be.
You know what? What's interesting to me is the amount of slow Pokemon on both sides. You have Amoonguss, you have Porygon 2, you have Incineroar. On Junxi's side, on Brian's side, you have Farigiraf, you have Ursaluna Bloodmoon, you have Amoonguss, you also have Incineroar. And so it's one of those things where, I know, if I'm not mistaken, nothing here has like Icy Wind or Electro Web or any moves that can lower speed. It's mainly just Trick Room and Tailwind. And so it's very interesting because I think speed calcs are going to be a massive play here, especially with the speed ties on like Incineroar and Amoonguss. We're going to get things started right now. Brian's sending out his Pokemon, and there's Junxi's Golden Go and Porygon 2.
And honestly, this is especially based on what the Golden Go's Terra is here. It's Terra Dragon. So honestly, it's actually a pretty okay start for Junxi, right? It's a decent matchup. I mean, it is kind of threatening the Golden Go, but Golden Go can't be faked out, right? So I mean, Golden Go could either go for a Terra Dragon here, or he can or you can switch out, right? Porygon 2, I don't see the download boost it got, but what download boost?
No, I believe though the Porygon 2, I think it's an interesting case right now because Golden Go. Do you stay in? Because here's the thing. This Farigiraf has Dazzling Gleam and Terra Fairy. This Incineroar has Flare Blitz as well as Knockoff and Parting Shot, even though Parting Shot is not effective. But the interesting thing with it is you've got so many different stab moves that can attack your Golden Go. So do you Terra it, expecting no Dazzling Gleam, or do you, in which we're going to see the Terra?
He is the Terra, right?
But I still think it's interesting because you do got to watch out for the Farigiraf. It still does a lot of damage with that Dazzling Gleam Terra.
Yeah, especially if it Terras, yeah. But right now, I guess he's just going for like a nasty plot here, and honestly, yeah, just goes for the nasty plot. And I think the thing is, the Farigiraf is kind of like pressured to, you know, go for it. He goes for the Dazzling Gleam.
That does
about
a
half. Is he gonna knock?
Oh, it was a crit.
He's gonna knock off on the. No, but the Terra Blast going into Incineroar, not doing too much. I believe he got an attack boost.
Yeah.
How much did the knockoff? Still lived. But what's really important here is it is +2. Yeah. So it is putting on a lot of threat, and since Farigiraf didn't go for a Trick Room, it will move first next turn.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting here, I think the Golden Go at +2, it can knock out the Farigiraf. But
they did knock off the metal coats, maybe not.
Maybe not anymore, yeah. But that's where you have Porygon 2. You can go for, you will probably get rid of one of the two if you go for a Terra Blast onto one of the two, and then the Make It Rain is going to be able to pick up at least enough damage. Yeah. So if this is a Terra Blast, one of Brian's is going down in exchange for the Golden Go.
Yeah.
There's that Dazzling Gleam.
Dazzling Gleam, and does this Incineroar go for a knockoff? That'll be really important. If it goes for the knockoff here, then the Eviolite's gone, and so it's not actually really that good of a trade if the Eviolite goes down here.
And there's a knockoff.
He goes for the knockoff, and he gets a return KO, but I don't know if this is really worth it for Junxi here.
It's going to come down to what Junxi brought in the back. The Terra Blast, it looks like it's going to connect with the Farigiraf here, so goodbye Farigiraf. I do think it's not a terrible spot, especially depending on what Junxi brought in the back, and we're going to see that right now, which is Amoonguss and Incineroar. So going for the slow route, I do think the fast route was a little bit better because it did target the opposing fast Pokemon on Bryan's side, which was the speed control mon, which was the for draft, which allowed your fast Pokemon to basically come in and just take control no matter what was out on Bryan's side, even if the Iron Jugulas came in. Yeah. So I think now you're relying a lot on Incineroar to do damage. Looking at these last two, Amoonguss not in a terrible spot either. It has Pollen Puff and Spore, which is going to definitely help you against the Ursaluna Blood Moon. But I think right now, if you're Junxi, your target, you were like, okay, if it's Amoonguss, it's fine. You just hope that it's not really Ogerpon. That's the one you want to watch out for and target. The other three are fine, but Ogerpon is gonna be tough. It will be crippled here if we see Bryan send in this Ogerpon, but it's gonna sound out the Ursaluna instead.
So this is actually pretty crucial, right? I mean, I think this Ursaluna is gonna be the slowest one on the field here, it is under a little bit of pressure, like maybe getting knocked off or something. But I mean, it seems to have like still a good amount of pressure. The Porygon 2 Eviolite is gone, so like honestly, this Porygon 2 might just drop to even like a Hyper Voice or something. The difference between the Eviolite and non-Eviolite is like insanely high. Like the multipliers are insane on that. So Blood Moon's actually in a pretty good position here. It can't get faked out. It can't get parting shotted, but I don't think any of that's really going to be enough, especially if Bryan just like Terras and Hyper Voices, you know what I mean?
I think that, you nailed it. And the nice thing is this Incineroar on Bryan's side is going to outspeed the Porygon 2, so you're able to go for a Flare Blitz onto it and probably pick up a KO, which means the worst thing that can... I mean, that's fine too, but the worst thing that could happen to this Ursaluna is it's going to get Flare Blitz. That's it. We do see a knockoff, which also is a bit scary because it does have Life Orb, and Parting Shot going on to the opposing Incineroar. That's going to switch Bryan's Pokemon out into whatever he brought in the back. Again, I believe it would be Ogerpon Wellspring form, which is a very good switch in here, especially knowing that the Amoonguss on Junxi's side is coming out later, and there it is. That is really nice because you're free to just Ivy Cudgel the Incineroar while Ursaluna handles the Porygon 2.
And Ice Beam coming out, actually, that's actually that's a good way to keep this Ursaluna kind of in check. But now that the Follow Me is live, yeah, and that makes sense. Yeah, right. It was really hard for him to ever come back from this because Ursaluna just kind of follow me, Terra Normal, Hyper Voices the rest of the team. Yep. So I mean, I completely understand this this choice from Junxi. You know, just go back to the drawing board and see what else. I actually think Gholdengo is actually very pivotal in this matchup. Yeah. So maybe I think like he should try to preserve it. Right?
I think Gholdengo is fine to bring out. I just think bringing out Landorus or Urshifu would have really helped. Specifically Urshifu, because you're able. What you can do after your Gholdengo goes down is you can U-turn into a favorable position. But if, say, for example, you saw that it was the same situation where the Incineroar and Fredra are both down to the red. You could U-turn out if you want because your Choice Scarf, and so you can reset, knowing that like the Blood Moon and Ogerpon are going to come in later, and then that way you can just focus on the Ogerpon until you're ready to go for close combats. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see that switch in. I wouldn't be. I think the Porygon Gholdengo was a good call though. Not sure on Incineroar in this matchup solely because the good news is it does hit the Amoonguss and the Furdroff super effectively, but I think you could put the pressure on. I still think you need to just go, maybe not Porygon 2, I guess, but I feel like
it wasn't putting up enough pressure there, the Porygon 2.
I think, so that's better. I think there's too much support on Junxi's side.
Yeah, I think he was like going all in on the Gholdengo, which is probably not the way you wanted to go. No. Right? And then again, I'm playing a team, so I played a team similar to this, and sometimes bringing just the Gholdengo as your win con is like a little hard. Sometimes you just need to bring the Urshifu, or like even I had Iron Hand, so like that served as win condition. But here you kind of either need to bring both, or I just don't think Porygon 2 is the real good move here, personally. Yeah,
I'm with you on that one. But the tough part now becomes for a draft, because Gholdengo is great. However, if now knowing that you're not bringing Porygon 2, you want to stop for a draft from setting up Trick Room, there's a good chance Bryan's going to do that. And the interesting thing is, by leading with Incineroar, you do threaten the Terra to Fairy, but you should really go for a Make It Rain turn 1, because a knockoff with Make It Rain will get rid of it for a draft. But you then you get, luckily, your Metal Coat, but I don't know, it's tough. I think that's got to be the play to see that.
Yeah, just go for the damage.
Yeah,
immediately,
just skip the nasty plot right away. Plus, you do, if it isn't, it's Ogerpon and Ursaluna just leading on Bryan's side, which is very interesting, and I think allows for and we're seeing Junxi actually bring out the 2 support Pokemon first, the Incineroar and Amoonguss. This is actually quite good. You can pick out the Ogerpon and Spore the Blood Moon.
Yeah, and I don't think any of these are like really gonna drop to, based on how bulky it is, I don't think they're dropping to a Hyper Voice.
No.
The only issue is if the Ursaluna goes for like the Blood Moon onto the Amoonguss, and sometimes that may pick it up.
Yeah.
And then the Amoonguss is almost always leading last here, so it's a little tough, right? Because it could obviously follow me away the spores and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
if it's a neutral speed Amoonguss, then the Blood Moon should go first.
Yeah.
Which, like you said, is really terrifying. I mean, a good.
But Goldingo's actually a good switch in here.
Absolutely.
Especially if he goes for the normal move. But beat into that there. So let's see what happens here. Or he just fakes out the Blood Moon.
Spiky Shield. I think fake out on Blood Moon. If you're switching in right now, fake out on Blood Moon is probably a better option. Yeah. Oh, just a double protect to avoid fake out.
Okay, so actually that's actually like not a bad pivoting decision, right? Because I actually saw what he was trying to go for. He switched in the Goldingo, and I believe he was trying to actually parting shot out into the Amoonguss.
Yeah.
And Amoonguss Goldingo in this position is actually very strong.
Yep, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Now the tough part is that Goldingo. You do have to.
Just gonna have a Flare Blitz. Okay.
I feel, maybe switching back into the Amoonguss is not a bad play. Obviously, you're kind of going to bait that Earth Power into the Goldingo slot rather than a Hyper Voice. So switching into Amoonguss would be nice because you're going to take that easier than taking a Blood Moon. The Hyper Voice would be kind of ideal if you're Junxi, but I think maybe a Protect and dropping the Ogerpon's health would be nice because that way you can at least do more damage now that it's chipped. But we're going to see the Terra on Ursaluna right away.
Be going for the Blood Moon here because there's nothing really to stop it here.
There's Terra normal.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really, a parting shot would be nice here, but holding out going to protect. I think the question now becomes parting shot versus Flare Blitz. What did Incineroar do?
Yeah, Ivy Cudgel. He might have actually just gone for Hyper Voice here. That makes more sense. Citrus Berry going to come out. If he goes for a Hyper Voice, maybe the Sinsin survives. I don't even know. I don't think it does. But he goes for Flare Blitz onto the Ogerpon here. I think he's just kind of looking for a free switch into the Amoonguss here.
I agree.
Yeah.
And the burn is going to at least help out neutralize Ogerpon.
Yeah, and that's actually very good here. And it goes for the Hyper Voice. And that's actually really huge here, right? Because Amoonguss could redirect like the Hyper Voices and redirect like the Blood Moons, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is it can redirect the Ogerpon stuff. So now since Ogerpon's burned, it's actually really crucial. So even if that Ivy Cudgel goes into Goldingo, it's not going to do as much as it would if it just normally went into.
Yep.
So it is crucial.
The question now becomes, how much damage does a Hyper Voice plus Ivy Cudgel do onto Goldingo? Because I think if you take that, you're fine. I think it's gonna. Yeah. I think if you take that, you're good to go. Urshifu's not a bad switch in either. You do now go for the
close combat, or close combat even. All right, just to like force out the Blood Moon.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see it following from that Ogerpon right away. Then the question, but now I'm curious, and I think it could. Does Metal Coat Goldingo at neutral special attack?
If it's the spread, I think it is. Then it does KO.
All right,
because it got a nasty plot off, right?
I don't think it did. No,
it didn't.
So I think it's going to come down to how much that does, because Ursaluna is not known for being especially defensive. So a U-turn onto the Ogerpon should definitely pick up the KO. Make it rain. Will that pick up the KO on Ursaluna? I think that
maybe
is
a single target.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's if the Ogerpon goes down here.
Oh, okay. No switch outs. We're going to see that Terra into Dragon. So predicting a Earth Power most likely. I think it will take an Earth Power. Not sure anymore about a Hyper Voice or Blood Moon because you are resistant.
It doesn't resist anymore.
Yeah. So let's see.
Let's see if he reads into this, and if he does, it's actually huge.
There's
goes for the follow me. That makes sense. Close combat. Oh no, U-turn going into it. Does it pick up the KO? No,
it doesn't.
The burn is gonna pick up the KO, but I don't think it's.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's gonna get to launch 2 attacks off, and not good. And even if he like Blood Moons into the Amoonguss slot, it's gonna be like quite. Okay, no, he goes first. He actually faster than the Ogerpon.
It's not terrible.
Faster than the Ogerpon. That's actually really something to know for like next game or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now the question is, oh, it is a Blood Moon.
Where it's going?
It looks like it's going onto the Amoonguss slot. It does pick up a KO.
Yeah, and Amoonguss, unless especially bulky, is not going to take that. If it's a spread, I think it is. It's probably not going to take it. So, unfortunate, but crucially, the Scoldingo is faster, and I think another Make It Rain will probably take the KO, even at -1.
Yeah, and the good news, especially, is you have removed Ogre Pawn from play. And
Urshifu is
maybe I spoke a little too soon.
spoke too soon. This is the anti-Urshifu team.
It's really not. It's not horrible. I mean, I would expect a spore, but the reason it's not horrible is after you Make It Rain on this turn, what can Amoonguss do?
Yeah. To be fair, what can Amoonguss really do here, right?
Ice Spinner on Amoonguss. Oh, okay,
yeah,
that's okay.
That's fine because the Make It Rain is going to pick up the Ursaluna.
Yeah, if that Incineroar is the last Pokemon, then it's going to be an issue though. This should at least chip Amoonguss enough, but
Make It Rain going in, Amoonguss, and now is this Urshifu going to get spored?
Yeah, it's going to get spored.
And honestly though, if Incineroar is the last Pokemon, it can't really do much offensively to this Gholdengo. No. And neither can Amoonguss, let's be honest here. So it could get a nasty plot up in the next turn if it just like protects.
Yeah.
So like I would expect maybe like Incineroar.
There's a spore.
Yeah, there's a spore. If
it is Incineroar, and I think that is logically that based on what we've seen, that's what would come out. Yeah.
Yeah, he revealed it earlier in the game.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Earlier in the set. Sorry. Oh no, never mind. That not brought it. Never mind.
Okay. Well, it's still the logical play.
Yeah.
Good news is the worst is the knockoff. I think an Ice Spinner on Amoonguss is good, and then you just protect right now so you don't get faked out.
Yeah.
Because that could just do some damage, and then at that point you just get 2 nasty plots up.
Oh, he's just going for the nasty plot. He's not even
okay. I mean, I think fake out's gonna happen first, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Either way, it doesn't really matter all that much. This Amoonguss has clear smog. Oh, this Amoonguss has clear smog.
Yeah.
That's interesting, because if you play those clear smogs every turn at this point, that you just get rid of nasty plot, period. But I think right now, regardless, you just want to focus on the Amoonguss. Knockoff doesn't do too much.
Okay, so this is actually really interesting, right? Urshifu got its guaranteed turn of sleep, and it's going for the Urshifu here. And it's interesting because I feel like once if it wakes up this turn, Amoonguss is in a lot of pressure, and yeah, he could just keep clear smogging, but he got the nasty plot up without the clear smog going up.
Yep.
So he could just launch it right now, and the Amoonguss probably goes down.
Yep. As long as the Urshifu wakes up, then it's good to go.
Just from a Shadow Ball or something.
Oh, it's asleep.
Yeah.
Okay. Question now becomes, what does the Amoonguss do? I think clear smog is the play, but nasty plot, clear smog, and knockoff, and just keep spamming that slot. Knowing that Urshifu only has Ice Spinner, it's really useful. There's that knockoff again.
Knockoff again. Ooh, that does a lot of damage. Clear smog.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Urshifu needs to wake up in this.
It does.
Yeah, and at least Gholdengo's at neutral, but like it kind of needs to wake up right now.
I think you got to protect Gholdengo. Oh, just going straight up, Make It Rain.
Yeah, hopefully the Urshifu wakes up.
I mean, I guess it's not
been sleeping for a while.
Yeah, this is turn, I believe, 3 of. It's the second. It's slept for 2 turns, I believe. So
it has a pretty high chance of waking up here.
If it does, that's really important because it could one-hit KO the Amoonguss, and then it's going to be resistant moves all around. But
and just keeps Ice Spinnering. Hopefully it does something, you know. But
battle the crits. There's the wake up.
There's the wake up. This is huge. And then this I would say this
oh, the Intimidate's going to hurt it, but the Make It Rain should pick up the KO on the Amoonguss, so that was a wise Make It Rain there.
So if this Incineroar goes for the knockoff onto Gholdengo, right, it won't be able to nasty plot anymore. But the thing is it's actually really interesting because it's actually bad. It's actually bad if this they try to fish for the burn. Oh,
this Incineroar just put itself in a really good spot.
Incineroar could win this now by itself, just because I mean, not necessarily. The thing is, the Incineroar does not want to knock off the Urshifu, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Right, because then it gets the Surging Strikes. That's what I was actually about to say earlier before this happened, but you know, now the Urshifu's really crippled, even if it does get to Surging Strikes.
Yeah, that is important.
Yeah.
You could put Blitz onto, or knock off onto the Gholdengo, but then it becomes a game of protects, and I mean, luckily Ice Spinner's not going to be doing like much at all.
Interesting. He can nasty plot and live the next move that comes out.
Yeah.
Crucially.
That's just so little.
So,
And it's got Rocky Helmet.
oh god. Alright, Nasty Plot comes out. Is this knockoff gonna KO if it goes for it?
I think it does. If it's enough, that's it. And the knockoff 5 HP.
So this is very interesting.
This is very
here.
close. This is very close.
Yeah, because again, it's not doing much, right?
Yeah.
But the issue is here is
Was that a Nasty Plot? I don't know why would you go for the Nasty Plot? Because I don't think that was the right call because the Rocky Helmet damage is just gonna get rid of Urshifu no matter what. Let's see.
is he trying to predict the protect play here?
Let's see.
Oh, he just goes for
No,
the
it's
knockoff.
just the it's the safer play because
You had to hope that Bryan threw there. Honestly, like it was a little hard.
Yeah.
Like, a hard call there. But Bryan looks like Bryan's gonna take it unless somehow he lets him, unless he knocks him off and lets him surging strikes. But even then, it's
There's the forfeit.
Yeah, well played by Bryan.
yeah.
He neutralized the Golden Go really well as the Urshifu.
Oh, he just commanded that battle.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to point out about Bryan's team that I really, really like is the support mons do damage. Ogre Pine, Incineroar, 2 support mons that have so much good damage output. Same thing actually goes for Faridref and Iron Troculus. And of course you have your sweepers with Blood Moon, but what really sets Bryan apart is the ability to play with a lot of bulk and support, knowing how much damage it does, and knowing, okay, you know what, this Golden Gust not a threat anymore. I'm just gonna knock it off, and playing essentially the long game to victory, which we saw in that second game.
He made sure he had all the proper resists to Golden Go by the end.
Absolutely.
Right, and
Absolutely.
again, well played end game. It looked like Junxi did have a way out, but it was hard.
It would have depended on the Make It Rain, and
yeah.
I don't think Incineroar would have gone down to that either.
Yeah,
So,
I mean maybe like a crit. Like
it would have had a crit.
yeah, it would have had to like crit or something. Because single target Make It Rain +2 does a lot, but like not enough.
Yeah.
So I think he knew that, so he kind of went for the Nasty Plot, hoping maybe he would throw.
Yeah, I
but-
mean, when you're in these desperate situations in the games, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna try whatever and see if it works.
Yeah, but the Rocky Helmet Incineroar,
Crazy.
That's a very interesting thing to put on that Pokemon, Rocky Helmet, especially since I guess it's interesting because it definitely makes it so Urshifus don't want to surging strikes into you for sure. But even
It's
then,
a very interesting
yeah.
play. I do like it a lot, especially if you Terra Grass. You just basically act as a
Amoonguss with fake out.
Yeah, so literally, and I was gonna say it acts as a bear trap,
Yeah.
pun intended.
Yeah.
But thank you guys again for watching, and make sure you guys donate. I always do it the wrong way. It's like I go, no, it's this way. Donate to Child's Play. We've been appreciating your support all day long as they donate the game consoles to children in need. So make sure you donate. It's an amazing cause, and it can lift someone's spirit. Even a little donation does.
Oh yeah, no, every little bit goes a long way, and if everyone just donates a little, it adds up.
Absolutely.
Adds up. So you guys should definitely do that, and we'll be back shortly with our top 2 match, aka finals.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll see you guys.